Hey you. Yeah, you. The one who's been holding it together, but barely. The one who's trying to be everything for everyone, but is quietly wondering, where do I fit in? Welcome to the LoveThySelfies podcast. This is your 10-minute pocket of truth, softness, and strength. I'm Melissa, a woman who's been through the mess, and the founder of LoveThySelfies. And this podcast, it's for us. Every weekday, I'm showing up to share the real stuff. The doubts, the breakthroughs, the things I wish someone told me sooner. Because loving yourself isn't always bubble baths and affirmations. It's crying in your car and still choosing to show up. It's unlearning the lies and deciding you're worthy anyway. It's being human and being holy in the same breath. So if you're ready to stop performing, to stop shrinking, and to finally feel seen, this podcast is your daily permission slip to slow down, to rise up, and to come home to yourself. Welcome to episode 1 of the LoveThySelfies podcast. I'm your host, Melissa, a woman who's lived through some pretty messy moments, wanting to share what I've learned and how I've grown with you. What if I told you that every time you said, I should be further along, you were interrupting your own blooming? If you're listening right now, I already know something about you. You're showing up, you're trying, you're carrying a lot. And deep down, maybe you're wondering, am I behind? Did I miss something? Why does it feel like I'm floating through life without a map? Let me tell you something I wish someone had said to me in my darkest, most directionless moments. You are not behind. You're just becoming. And I want to start this podcast, this entire journey that we're going to take together, by telling you my story, because I know that I'm not alone in how this all felt. I was raised to become a mom. That was the path that felt safe, familiar, even honorable for me. I didn't dream about climbing a corporate ladder or building an empire when I was younger. I just wanted to love and raise a family. And that was the dream I clung to, the blueprint that I followed. So I went to college and I got my degree in child and family development. It's not necessarily to chase a big career, but because I thought it would make me a better mother. That was the plan, and that was my why. And when motherhood came, I dove in completely. I gave it everything I had. I loved it. I loved them. And honestly, I was proud of how much of myself I poured into raising them. But then one day, they went off to school. And for the first time in what felt like forever, the house was quiet. And even more painfully, so was I. I remember standing in the kitchen, coffee in hand, the morning silence pressing in, and thinking, who even am I without someone needing me? It hit me like a wave. I had built my whole identity around being there for everyone else. And now there was this hollow space, and I didn't even know what to fill it with. I looked around and realized I didn't recognize my own life. I didn't recognize me. And then came the shame, the guilt. Because what kind of woman, what kind of mother has everything that she's ever wanted and still feels completely empty? But here's what I've come to understand. You can love your family with every fiber of your being and still feel lost inside yourself. That doesn't make you selfish or broken. It makes you human. It makes you awake. And let's talk about the pressure because, wow, women today are held up to impossible standards. We're told to be stay-at-home moms who are present and nurturing, but also to bring in income, be ambitious, support our husbands, be sexy, be composed, be soft, but also be successful, be a boss babe. It's like no matter what you choose, someone thinks you're doing it wrong. I felt like I was constantly failing. If I stayed home, I wasn't contributing enough. If I pursued something for me, I felt guilty for not being fully available. I was exhausted. And even worse, I had lost respect for myself because I could never quite measure up to what I thought I should be. And let me tell you, eventually I hit a wall. And in that breaking point, something inside me whispered, what if it's time to stop trying to be everything for everyone and start getting to know you? So I did. I did something small, but it was huge. I started turning inward. I read every book I could get my hands on, especially anything written by Brené Brown. Her work literally cracked me open in the best way. I began the hard work of reparenting myself, of learning how to speak to myself kindly, of letting go of shame, people pleasing, and this constant need for external validation. And here's the wild part. The more I learned, the more I realized I had never actually asked myself what I wanted. What brought me joy? What made me feel alive? I had to meet myself again, as if it was for the first time, because it was. And through that process, through the books and the journaling, the quiet car cries, the long walks, the honest conversations, I started to feel something that I hadn't felt in years. I started to feel flow. Not in a flashy, look at me kind of way, but in a quiet, sacred, effortless kind of way. I started showing up for others, not from obligation, but from overflow. And I started sharing my thoughts and my light and my story. And every time someone asked or said, thank you, I needed to hear that, something clicked inside me. And that was it. That was the calling I had been chasing all along. My purpose wasn't hidden in some future. I was already living it. Every time that I showed love and light to someone else. Every time I chose truth over perfection. Every time I made space for another woman to feel seen. So, sorry, I'm getting emotional. If you're here today wondering if you're too late, if you've missed your shot, or if you'll ever find the thing that makes you feel alive again, let me remind you, you are not behind. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are just in the becoming. And becoming can feel awkward and quiet and uncertain until it doesn't. Until one day it feels like coming home. Whew. Ugh. So, today I want to leave you with a few things. First, I have a journal prompt. If you like journaling, sit down with a notebook and a cute pen and just let this out. The question is, if I trusted that I was becoming who I'm meant to be, how would I show up today? All it takes is one little step every single day. The mantra is, I am not behind. I am blooming in divine timing. And one last thing that I want to leave with you. If this episode found you at just the right time, would you share it with a friend? Send it to the woman in your life or the women in your life who may be questioning their worth or their timeline. Let her know that she's not alone and that I'll be here every weekday, showing up in this space to remind you and remind her that we are not meant to fit into anyone else's timeline. We are not late. We are right on time for the most beautiful version of our lives. Namaste. I want to thank you so much for coming today. If the episode spoke to your heart, please come back tomorrow. Share it with a friend. We do this every weekday. You can also find me over on Instagram at LoveThySelfies, where we keep the conversations going. Until then, be gentle with yourself. You're doing better than you think.